What if I can't? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 194 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and how much do you rely on a single activity on a single day? Are you looking forward to it? Are you planning around it? And if you do, that's fantastic. I genuinely believe that we all need something like that in our days. But what if you can't make it? Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, leaving a like and subscribing really help a lot. They're just one click, but they really make the difference. Thank you very much. So, where do we start? Today's episode is gonna be personal, as usual, but it's just gonna explore, let's say, my habits. Try to find an advice that maybe can be useful also for you, as usual, but today maybe a bit more, given that it's going to be, again, a more of a stream of consciousness type of episode. So my habit and the thing that keeps me going every single day recently, or until, let's say, these last 2 years after I moved here to Switzerland, has been the possibility of playing paddle and tennis and generally racket sports. I don't know what is it. I don't know what is special about it. I would say that it's also heavily influenced by the fact that growing up, I never got the chance to fully enjoy that kind of activity. And I got a glimpse here and there, and it's always something that got me very happy and excited. And I can use a parallelism to something that, I got a similar treatment to it. And that was internet connection, fast internet connection, specifically a fast enough internet connection to be able to play online games. Growing up, that was something that was coming and going, but I remember very vividly this memory of me being able to visit my cousins that were living in a neighborhood where internet connection was very good, and me staying up until 4 or 5 a.m. to play because I knew that that was my only possibility. And I feel like this mimics a lot what I end up doing here, in the sense that, of course, I don't wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning to go play tennis. But as for example, it happens that maybe I wake up at 7 a.m. to go play at 8. And this is pretty crazy because, on a regular day, if I have to wake up for work, if I have to go to the gym, if I have to do any errand that requires effort and it's still necessary, there are still plenty of benefits to it. But at the same time, it's still something that weighs on me. It's not something that I do just flawlessly. So knowing that I have within my day that kind of activity gives me a bit more boost to be able to say, hey, you know what? Even though I have a lot to do, even though I'll be stressed, even though I'll be tired, I know that I have that. And it's fantastic in its own way. And as I said at the start of the episode, I do believe there should be something like that you look forward to. It could be a person, a place, an activity, whatever, You do you, as I usually say. But what if you can make it? I started thinking that given that I have this opportunity, and given that I am trying, here and there to find time for it, and every time that I do, it makes me very happy, as I just explained. On the other hand, the days in which I don't, I feel like a peak, but in the wrong direction. Because I'm using and I'm, leveraging this activity maybe a bit too much. Because as I said, it puts me in such a good mood, so it balances things out. So, as I just said, what if you can make it? What then? How should you treat those things? Well, I believe you have two options, and overall they can be combined to have a pretty reliable solution. The first thing, even though it's counterintuitive, is to reduce your expectation about that activity. The fact that you can, the fact that you have it, and the fact that you can enjoy it shouldn't be seen as something that obscures all the rest. You should try to level out things and maybe reduce a bit your expectation and the way that you see these activities and bring up your normal standard activities. Because as I said, the days in which you will not be able, everything will just collapse and it will feel like everything is so much harder because, well, you don't have that thing. And it's funny to think about it in this way because, here we're talking about positive things, about things that improve your mood and overall, bring you put you in a better position. But it's not that far from talking about a generic addiction because in the end, it's still the same mechanism, You have a lot going on, your regular things sit below an average level of enjoyment that, for several reasons they've been put there. So you find something that sits very high above your threshold, and anytime that you do it, you feel amazing, but then again, you slope down. Of course, this is the healthy way and the good way of doing it, but this doesn't mean that the same mechanisms don't apply and that you shouldn't build safeguards in order to protect yourself from it. So again, that was the first thing. So try to level things out and try to bring a balance, in the things that you're doing. And the second one, finding a backup. And what I mean is that as for, any kind of thing that you might be doing in your life, in your days, when you have a plan, you try to go with it. It's your best plan, it's the thing that you thought, or maybe the first thought that came to your head, and you go with it. But again, what if you can make it? What if it doesn't work? Do you just stop? You don't look for something else? Of course you do. And I feel like this is the same thing you should be doing in this kind of circumstances. And combining it, as I just said, with the leveling out will help you, because out of all of the activities that you have going on in your habitual life, there will be something that maybe sticks out compared to the rest. And as I said, this is personal and it can be up to you. But for example, for me, if I cannot have that kind of physical activity, if I cannot achieve that in a certain day, I will look for the second best kind of physical activity that I can get. And this is just because it helps me to still have something in that direction. And overall, just understand that even though that specific moment was not present, this doesn't mean that my day is ruined in quotes, but that's the feeling that one might get. And at the end of the day, things will just keep rolling as they were, just because you were still able to find something that replaced that feeling. You are not left with a void of, oh my God, what I'm going to do now? And you manage to work with your plan B that, is there for a reason. And therefore, day by day, with good days where you have the activity and bad days where you might not have it, at the end of the week, you'll still be, leveling out because there was no bad feeling about it. So overall, try to think about the moments in which you will not be able to make it, and just try to find something that will be soothing for yourself, even though it's not your first choice. Having said that, that was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. As always, let me know in the comments if you have something that that defines, let's say, your day. And as always, if you ended up liking this episode, leaving a like and subscribing really, really help. And until the next one, as usual, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and see you tomorrow.